What's going on, everybody? It's been a while. Welcome back to a new episode of alaunesports. It's been a minute. It's been since the finals, since the Nuggets versus the Heat. We're back for a special on transfers on soccer and NBA. Episode 62 with Mr. Wets, aka Mike. What's going on?
Not much, buddy. Hopefully, I don't sound too bad because my voice is a little bit gone because I recorded earlier today already. But, we're ready to go, man. It's been a while, so got a lot to discuss. Let's get into it.
And yeah, check it out. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple too, right, Mike?
Yeah, Apple.
Yeah, Spotify and Apple. I have it right in front of me. Anime for starters. When is it gonna drop the new episode?
Probably Saturday, honestly.
Be on the lookout, you guys. Subscribe so you could and put in a notification so you could know exactly when it comes out.
Appreciate you.
No problem. So today we're gonna be speaking about. We're gonna concentrate more on Manchester United and then briefly talk about some transfer that happened in the Premier League, and we'll end the show with off-season basketball commitments, because it's commitments at the moment, right? It's not really. There's the official transfer starts July 1st.
Yeah, so the trades are good, but as far as free agency goes, they can't really nothing could be official until
they're
July
sneak
1st.
Talking in the background
until July 1st
with Brunson.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna be the show for today. How was your week?
Week's been good, man. All I've been doing is playing video games. Literally, I have done nothing else but play video games. Yeah,
you're off. Go off.
But play video games, man. So now, it's winding down. So now I gotta finish the stuff that I started. Actually get some work done. So today we potting. Tomorrow get some work done. Saturday chill, and then back to it on Sunday again.
Sunday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's cool. Dope. How
about you, man? Yeah, I know you just recently traveled.
Yeah, I just came from Montreal this weekend. Went away with the wife, and then she went to see her families.
Nice.
And guess what? There was wildfires outside. So you know what? It was crazy to see people breathing that air it's nothing. I'm like, bro, it's not bothering your throats, guys.
It's not healthy, I'll tell you that.
It's not healthy. And then the worst thing is that I saw some parents with their kids in all different ages, 5, 10, 11 babies, and they're not, none of them wearing a mask. It's bro,
for what we were exposed to, what was it, 2 weeks ago now, man? I was
no, yours was worse. Yours was worse. Yeah.
I was like, dude, I know. I hopefully, down the line, I don't feel any any type of thing. It's oh yeah, I got, God forbid, I got cancer.
Nah, let's not gonna wood. Come on. Nah, but you'll be good. You'll be good. Yeah. But yours was very worse. It was one full day. The next day after, when I was flying, it got better. But from what I'm hearing, it's back again, if I'm not saying. So yeah, man, prayers to the world, I guess.
For sure.
If I may say,
for sure.
So
where are we starting?
Yeah, let's get into some transfers. Let's get some transfers. Let me name you some, and then you let me know how you feel about them. I'm just gonna stay in the Premier League. For this show,
because outside of AC Milan, that's really doing moves to bolster their roster, especially after losing
Tonali to Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much to talk about in Spain outside of Jude Bellingham joining
Real Madrid. And actually, Barcelona acquired
Gundogan.
I think it's a good acquisition.
100%.
You're losing I almost said Essien. I'm wild.
Busquets.
Not Busquets. The guy that used to play for AC Milan. What's his name again? Casey. Because Busquets was due to being gone. That dude's gonna be chilling in Miami now. But after losing KC and then now you sign good again, I think it's an upgrade. in that manner. I know it's not going to be for a long term, but you get a smart player. It's not as fast paced as the Premier League, and then he's a very technical guy. So, yeah. But we'll get into more transfers in outside in the Premier League. Let me get a yay or nay for you, Mike. Kai Havertz, 70 million pounds going from Chelsea to Arsenal. Is that a yay or nay for Arsenal?
Is that a trick question?
Hey man, I'm just trying to get. So you don't think it's gonna help them,
dude? I mean, I think.
Let me hear it.
I think Arsenal was already a potent offensive team. I don't think that's what they were lacking, like in terms of like technical like ability and creativity. Like maybe they probably need a better backup for like if Odegaard can't play, but he doesn't really get injured that much. So I think what's the Portuguese kid's name? I forget his name. That was basically his backup.
In Chelsea?
No, and Arsenal.
I forget. Oh my God, what's his name again? The midfielder?
Yeah. But I mean, if anyone they know who I'm talking about. But I mean, you already had Partey, so now you got a midfield of Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Kai Havertz. I mean, you know, it could potentially be good, but the thing is that like, with Havertz, like the dude's lazy, dude. Like I don't. Yes, Arteta's going to play him in a better position than he was at Chelsea because he's not a striker, so he's going to be in midfield. But I just don't think that's what Arsenal was lacking. So I'm interested to see how they start the season. The season starts pretty soon. Like we're a month, we're 6 weeks away basically from the Premier League season starting. 6-7
Bro, that's
weeks.
crazy. Vacation's almost done for these guys.
You know, so I'm interested to see what Arteta does, if he's going to not play the double pivot anymore. I mean, he was already inverting Zinchenko anyways, so I'm curious to see what happens with this team, but I don't think creativity.
Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, Fabio Vieira. Yeah, I don't think creativity or offensive potency was something that they were lacking already. So I mean,
I just think that it's more bodies, like another style of a player. Like this is a guy that when he first got to Chelsea, he was pretty good. He was very good. Even when he was in Germany, he was a very good. Like I see this guy as a second striker. I see him as a João Felix. Kind of, those are the guys that can play behind a striker, like a center forward. They can combine. That's why when they had the rumors, like when he's going to Real Madrid, I'm like, it's either it failed badly or it works at a 60-70%. Because like you put him behind like a center forward. It has to be a very a traditional center forward, like someone that you can combine. Create for the wingers. So I just feel like this is another style that can help Arsenal, another dynamic player. My only thing is that I was looking at a picture of midfield of Rice, Odegaard, and Havertz. Is it kind of weak a little bit in terms of defensive minding? A little bit.
100%. That's what I'm saying. Like
Odegaard and Havertz are not really like if you're running into physical midfielders, like it's gonna be like a hell.
100%. That was my issue.
Yeah, but
but what were you saying?
No, I say but if it's a good day and then they can maintain the ball and the opposition give the opposition hell, it could work as well. It just kind of reminds me like one of those times like when Paris Saint-Germain was playing against Lens and them, Paris midfield is very weak in terms of like you have Verratti, Vitinha, and either Soler or Fabian Ruiz. When you play against physical, like it hurts them. But this is also a midfield that can hold the ball. But I was thinking about it in that way. But
yeah,
it's a nay for you.
It's a nay for me, but just because of mainly the price. Because at the end of the day, like
70 million pounds.
If you look at Declan Rice. If you look at Kai Havertz, he's 22 years old still. So you're kind of looking at it like, oh, nah, this kid is extremely young, so like it's an investment. But you're looking at you're making an investment on a guy that's played
Mm-hmm.
3 straight bad seasons at Chelsea
Mm-hmm.
in the Premier League, like in your own backyard. So like I think it's the price is just too steep in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it is. It is. That's why Real Madrid was like, you know what? Um, let's think about that because I thought the price was really high, but um, I guess Chelsea's not gonna lose any. Like it's instant investments, like
Yep.
they're not trying to lose too much money out of it. And then Arsenal was really indeed to create more depth, so they jumped into him. So
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I think to me personally, like it's either it works or either it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a good thing for him personally. I felt like he was not happy anymore at Chelsea, and there was
100%.
nothing going with him for him. And usually when you're, and I know he had like some contract issues when they lost their owner, the Russian guy, and then it all went downhill since then. I'm not able to, like, even the way he was playing, like he's not picking up this forward passes the way he used to. Um, so hopefully it's a new experiment for him. He gets more confidence and no being a better creator, like the
Mm-hmm.
way he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that Nuno Tavares is back. I don't know if he's gonna go back again on loan. He's a left back.
Yeah, more than
Balogun,
likely. We'll see what happens.
Balogun and him and Tavares probably gonna go on
Yeah,
loan again.
because Kieran
Uh,
Tierney was already complaining. So
Pepe's back also, but that he's definitely going back. They're selling him. So who else had made a move, Mike?
we got Newcastle. We got
Newcastle. Let me go Newcastle to see what they have.
got Declan Rice finally signing for Arsenal as well.
Well, I didn't mention Declan Rice for Arsenal because it's not official yet. So, but
Um,
it seems that they said from the reports that um West Ham is gonna accept a bid, but they're
yep.
working on the construction of
Payment
yeah
structure.
payment structure. So I have Manchester City in front of me. Let's go. They
Mm-hmm.
just purchased Mateo Kovacic, central midfielder from
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea for 29.10 million pounds. So they lose Gundogan and they add Mateo Kovacic. How do you feel about that?
Yay, man! What a replacement!
Yeah.
Like the guy that's a box to box midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
He could, outside of like basically, I would say maybe his intelligence compared to what Gundogan does, like on the ball, like with his passing ability
Mm-hmm.
and maybe attacking the box sometimes. I think Kovacic does everything else the same way, man. Like he's probably going to be an even better defender. So what a replacement, man. Like absolute, absolute stud of a player. I never
Mm-hmm.
wanted him to leave Real Madrid. I think Kovacic is underrated. Absolute steal. Like absolute steal.
So they lose good again, and then well, Mendy has not been with the team anyways for a long time. So those are the two players so far they're losing, and we're not actually sure yet about Bernardo Silva's situation.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
know more as the weeks are going by. Let's go to Newcastle. You were talking about Newcastle, so they're gonna add Tonali, and they added a right winger named Yankuba Mintet from Odense in Denmark. I'm not familiar with that player.
Me neither.
Um, so, but adding Tonali to the mix in the midfield, it gives you a different dimension. Also, I think he's a very talented, a young guy. I feel like he was very good for AC Milan, but it is a lot of money. Maybe hopefully they can use that money and replace that player and add on more players because to me he's a very talented in the double pivot with the Algerian Benacer. I think he was
Yeah.
very 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 good. He played at his own pace. Um, he brings a lot of quality. He's very smart. He's a very good passer.
Mm-hmm.
Lateral or forward to combine with his other midfielders and then the strikers. So yeah, Newcastle's getting a guy there. Like
They're preparing for the
I
Champions
wonder
League.
how that midfield is gonna look at. Like I know they have Joelinton,
Yeah.
Tonali. Am I missing some players?
Bruno
What happened to that
Guimaraes.
guy from Everton? He's not gonna play no more.
Which one? Oh, and Anthony Gordon. Dude,
Forgot about.
this guy's gonna get lost on the bench, bro. He's like a depth player. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I think Newcastle is doing the right thing. Anthony Gordon, like, yeah, I get it that you wanted to play, but with this team on the rise and the other players that they have, that's been performing well for them, maybe I mean he's still young, so he's probably gonna come out good for them. And they're gonna need depth because they're in the Champions League now. So if they want to perform well in both domestic championships and Europe, so they're
Mhm.
gonna need that. So I think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm curious to see what happens with Maxim. I don't know if they're gonna still keep him
Uh,
on. But they
Time
have
to
the
get rid of him.
strikers, they have the midfield now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jolington, if he doesn't move higher up the pitch, if he probably will be the one that probably misses out in the midfield because I think they probably like Joe Willock a little bit more because he's more high energy guy.
Mm-hmm.
So a midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, Willock, an attack of Joe Linton, Isak, and whoever they decide to slot on the right hand side again. Like, I don't know, man. I think this team is looking really good, man. I really like what
Yeah.
Newcastle is doing. Like
And
70 million is a great investment. And AC Milan has started, like, I mean, they're recruiting youth. They signed Luca Romero
but
for
they lost an important figure too.
100%.
That important figure might be the reason of like losing maybe Leao in the future.
Mhm.
Um, Mike Mania, like
They're
because
losing pieces, man. I mean,
Maldini was a very high
yeah,
figure and bringing out,
Maldini,
yeah.
Ibrahimovic retired, so
Mm-hmm.
now Tonali, and again an Italian player as well
Mm-hmm.
that leaves the city. Um, I mean, if I'm Leao, I'm kind of thinking, it's like, why did I sign this contract
Yeah,
again?
man. Yeah, it's not even much.
It's like,
Yeah. I have Tottenham in front of me. They have Madison. They took Madison from Leicester City. That's going to the second division for 46 euros. This time is for euros. Um, its market value was 60, but for 46, you gotta do it. Um, how do you is that a good acquisition for Tottenham?
yay,
Mhm.
that's
Oh
definitely a
yeah,
good
yeah.
that's definitely a good acquisition for him. I wish Manchester United would have went for him instead of Mason
Mason
Mount,
Mount, yeah.
but Mason Mount is much younger. I think by 2 years, like not much, maybe two and a half,
Mhm.
probably. But and Mason Mount is definitely more versatile than he is. But in terms of creativity, I saw, like, I don't know if you follow this guy. Well, I don't follow him, but he's always popping up on my Instagram or my YouTube. This super popular Tottenham fan that's always talking like bomba clat, yeah, yeah, like
Nah, I'm not
like
sure.
but he's British. He's
Mhm.
like, but he's British. It's like, talk about fam. You talk about Tottenham fam. We haven't had a creative midfielder in 6 years,
In
fam.
decades.
In 6 years, fam. But
Yeah.
now we have James Madison, fam. So I don't know.
Was
I think
supposed to be in Ndombele, but failed.
exactly. But
Yeah.
I think, yes, I think that's very good. And it's another Leicester connection um between Harry Kane and James Madison. So I think the two clubs have pretty good rapport. So I think it made sense.
So how is it gonna work
Um,
in the midfield? Like we're gonna have a double pivot
I
of
mean, what we're gonna see. I mean, I'm not really familiar with the style of the new coach,
true, true.
except that I hear that he likes playing a high line. So if he
Mm-hmm.
likes playing a high line, that means playing with a lot of possession. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
fits right into what James Madison does.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost Winks,
Maybe we
maybe.
see the Winks. Winks is back. Oh,
No,
they
no,
sold
they
him.
sold him. Yeah, so
Oh, okay, damn.
he's going to Leicester.
Okay,
So I'm taking Hoiberg,
Holberg and Hugh
what's
Grant. Yeah,
and then
Hugh
James
Grant.
Madison,
Why am I forgetting how he's what's his name?
Betancourt.
Bentancur and James Madison right in front of him, and then maybe that allows less work for Kane. Like Kane
Yeah,
worked a lot last season, like dropping, helping the midfield, um, and then losing Kane most of the time in the box, and then you had Son that had like a drought, and then you have Richarlison who's probably what score one goal.
yep, that's it.
So yeah, so. maybe that gives extra creator, and Kane doesn't have to work that. I mean, Kane is gonna still drop because like he likes doing that, and he has quality to do that also. But um, as also if Kane doesn't move to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Kane. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the James Madison acquisition is something that's exciting, but it's dude, does that really move the needle when you're looking
For
at what
Kane,
when you're looking at what Arsenal, Chelsea, and
yeah,
Manchester City are doing? Like, you're still not and Newcastle, for example, like
yeah,
I mean, you have to take an objective look and look at it as like, does this team compete for a top four? And you have to be realistic with yourself and say,
no,
no,
no.
no.
And then you
Like,
also have teams like Aston Villa. I don't know if how Brighton is gonna respond to losing McAllister and possibly Caicedo.
mhm.
But you still have Aston Villa of Unai. It's gonna be second here. He's gonna have more time. He had more time to this team. He's gonna add some players that he wants. So that's like even like a question mark of top six. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Very.
Mhm. But top four is tough. While we're talking about McAllister, Liverpool just added him to their team. I know Liverpool wanted to do a revolution in the midfield. We have heard rumors also about there's a rumor out there about Italian in Inter Milan, Barella.
Yeah,
We've heard that.
and then there's the new rumor
Kefren
of
Turam. We've heard that um
Valverde.
Lavia, Valverde. Well, Valverde, they've been talking about 90 million like about it. Um so so far we have McAllister, and how do you feel about that? 42 million for Liverpool, who was lacking creativity in the midfield.
I mean,
You're not sure?
I'm timid about this one. I'm timid about this one.
You don't think it moves the needle for the midfield?
Yeah, because the thing is that I've seen him play at Brighton. I think he's good. I don't know if he's great. You get what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
So Fabinho has his moments now. So I don't know if it's a thing of like him going, you know, him getting on that escalator downwards,
Mm-hmm.
just like Van Dijk, or if it was just a symptom of an overall bad season for Liverpool. So I'm a little bit timid about this one. I think we need to see what else happens for them in that midfield area before I could finally give my full opinion about this
Yeah.
acquisition. $42 million for a guy that's what 23, 24. I don't think it's that bad, especially
Mm-hmm.
I think he still had 2 years on his contract. So I don't think it's that bad, but I need to see what else happens with this team before I'm fully sold.
Fully sold.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Chelsea. We know they just lost Kai Havertz, Mateo Kovacic, Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy, and Golo Kante. Joao Felix didn't resign him. End of the loan. Dennis Zakaria's out. Bakayoko's finally sold. Finally. And now as of right now, I'm just gonna say that we have Nkunku, who is 100% sure that's here with 60 million euros. I know there's other rumors about other players, but they have not been final. There's a Brazilian striker. They're also after Caicedo, Nkunku in that team, and losing all these players, or you think they're going to the right direction now, like trimming it down? Like remember when we talked about in the I think it is the episode in the 50s where we're talking about trimming with Dolph. They're trimming it down, or they're going to the right direction. And Kunku also, like how does he fit in the team?
Yeah, the mass exodus that we all expected because the team was too bloated.
Yep.
For Nkuku, I mean, I don't know. It depends on who they're slotting at striker. Is it gonna be Sterling, Mudryk, and Nkuku like lineup for striker, or is Nkuku gonna have a free role and
As a force nine.
play behind a main striker?
Yeah.
Because Nkuku at Leipzig, I mean, he had Silva, Werner. You know, he had those guys to kind of play off of. Yes, he played like mostly as a striker, but it was like kind of behind
Yeah, he
another
was like,
striker.
yeah, yeah.
Behind and next to adjacent to the striker. He wasn't a number 9. So I'm just hoping that, I mean, Pochettino is a smart coach. So I would hopefully optimistic that he's not going to play Nkuku as a number 9. So yes, it's the right direction. They're trimming. They got talent. That's why I'm very excited for what Chelsea does, and I'm very fearful of what their team is going to look like. Madueke was coming into his own. So it's just a situation of like I think he's gonna have to figure out what to do up front
Mm-hmm.
because they paid a lot of money for Mudryk. You have Fofana that you paid, I think, what, 15 to $20 million for as well as a striker. You still have Sterling that you paid close to $50 million for.
Mm-hmm. And you have Lukaku back. Most
I
likely
mean,
they're probably gonna sell him.
yeah, I think they're probably gonna figure out a deal.
And they're also talking to there's a Brazilian striker they're talking about. He's a young striker. It's probably for the future, but I don't imagine he's gonna like walk in the lineup.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like it's it's a little bit, it's still a little bit confusing for them because they don't have a traditional number 9, which was why they were playing Havertz at the number 9 position over there right now. So I think Pochettino still has to address that, but again, the season is going to be starting soon. So, and they're selling. They got a pretty good return on the players that they sold. So, so yeah, they're definitely moving in the right direction.
Some of them, like maybe the price was like a little bit lower, to some in Saudi Arabia, but they got rid of the salaries.
Yep.
I just heard about Hakim Ziyech failing his
physical. Dude,
we'll see what hell's gonna happen with him.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Like what the. Quickly before we go to Manchester United, I'm gonna quickly say, Brighton, João Pedro, center forward from Watford for 34 million. James Milner on a free transfer, from Liverpool, and Mahmoud Dahoud from Dortmund, free transfer as well. So those are 3 players they added. And Aston Villa, they added Yuri Tillemans so far.
I like all these acquisitions.
Yeah, very good acquisition. Yeah. Now let's get to yours, my friend.
The one and only.
Manchester United, seems that you booked finally after 6 months. You finally booked Mason Mount for, it says 55 million pounds plus 5 million add-ons, which is 60 millions, about 77 in US dollars, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, about 75. So that's your first acquisition. I'm gonna ask you how you feel about it. I know we did talk about pre-production, and I'm gonna also talk to you about like other rumors. Onana from Inter Milan for goalkeeper is saying that's gonna be your next bid. Famous striker from Atalanta. From what I'm seeing, they said that they want him. And also the third rumor I'm hearing is, what did I hear about the third rumor, Mike? Yeah, I think he's the third rumor, right? But let's start with
you said Goncalo Ramos.
Yeah, yep, from Benfica as a striker. Not sure yet. That's a rumor, and yeah. So far, that's what I'm hearing. Let's start with Mount. How do you feel about that?
Dude, I would have liked it if it was only $50 million flat.
Yeah,
I would have liked it. I mean, I still like it because I think over the last 3 years, I've said it. Bruno Fernandes is our only creative output. There was just the same situation that I think Tottenham had. At least the difference between Tottenham and Manchester United was that Manchester United had Bruno Fernandes at least, for to create in the midfield, like a guy that could make forward progressing passes. Like, I like Mason Mount. I think he's young. He's a guy that could play box to box, but the rumor is that they're going to play him basically as a number 8. So the same role that basically Kovacic would play at Chelsea. That's the rumor that It's not going to be a typical like lineup of like, okay, we're going to hold Casemiro in midfield just like a holding midfielder. The rumor is that Ten Hag is going to play him next to Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes is going to be playing in front of them. But as I've come to find out this year, Ten Hag is a really weird guy. Like this guy, he's a really weird guy. So
he wants who he wants.
I'm not gonna be surprised if I see Mason Mount play at left back. Like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised, man. But I mean, I like it, but it's
just the price tag that's annoying you.
It takes a special level. I said it on Twitter. It takes a special level of incompetence to be this bad at making deals. Manchester United do not know how to make transfers. Like it is you're bidding against yourself. Nobody was in the market for Mason Mount. Like the guy chose the team, you know he wants to come, but yet you still go to this meeting with Chelsea and you still end up overpaying for him. Like the meeting was supposed to come to an agreement like, yo, you guys are wilding. Like the guy has 12 months left on his deal. He's leaving. He doesn't want to be back.
Like, bro.
Like he's leaving for free if you don't take this deal. How do you go to this meeting and you end up paying more? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, man. Like, so now we're like a little bit in a weird position that we have to sell players because we don't have a budget.
From what I'm hearing, it says like according to Bloomberg, it said that you have 260 million pounds available for you, but you cannot use all of them due to FFP rules.
Yep.
But I saw also that you had available at the moment like around 110 pounds that you can buy now, and plus you gotta sell first. So you can go like from exactly what you were saying about selling. So you have to sell. Who's your selling guys? Like it's like we know for sure like they want to sell Maguire. Fred, I thought he was linked to
Fulham.
Who else?
So the list is if another midfielder comes. I mean, another midfielder is already in with Mason Mount now that the deal is agreed. So McTominay, I had already said that if he feels like he's going to be falling down the pecking order, he wants to be sold. He doesn't want to have his minutes even more diminished. I mean, but if Fred leaves, so that's a different story because we're still going to need depth. So he's still going to be like our main backup. So, but the list right now of players to potentially sell are Maguire, McTominay, Fred, Alex Tellez is rumored to be gone anyways. It doesn't matter what happens with him. If they could get a bid for Martial, if another striker comes in, Martial was on the list. Sancho, if a team would
I forgot about Sancho.
If a team would come in with a bid of 45 millions, but I'm naming all these guys. Those are all guys without a market outside of maybe Fred and McTominay because McTominay is still young. And Fred, they just feel like he has to play a specific role. So there is a market for Fred out there. It's just a matter of like, how much are you willing to pay for him?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the situation Manchester United is in right now. There's not really a market for the players that we have on hand because they haven't been performing well, say the least. So
yeah,
I mean, we'll see what happens.
We'll see, because and also like the other priorities for Manchester United, according to Talk Sports, is that Ten Hag is very optimistic and wants Rasmus.
We'll see.
And then you were saying that you would like to have him because he's very dynamic. He can do many things for you up front. Speed, play on the sides.
And he's left-footed, man.
Yeah. And I was just saying, and the other rumor is
Goncalo?
No, not Goncalo. I feel like Onana is more making noise. Yeah. Yeah. So, but you were gonna say something?
No, I think I was gonna say I think the importance of left-footed players is underrated, especially when it comes in midfield. I think that's one thing that Manchester United is sorely lacking. That's what makes Fred even more desirable sometimes because he's a left-footed midfielder. And I think Manchester United, if he leaves, they need to figure out how to get another left-footed midfielder. But yeah, there's a situation with Manchester United. I almost tweeted the other day that I wanted to relinquish my fandom because this team, like, it took what? We're in July now.
It took about a month. And the rumors started actually before the season started.
Yep. Before the season ended, and we got man, this team is depressing.
Well, at least you had one person, because like I was talking to myself, like, okay, if you don't get Mount and it takes that long, who are you getting?
That ass.
But yeah, so we'll see in the next 2 weeks to see how it goes before camp starts. See if maybe you get a goalie and then a striker. And yeah. All right, so that was all for as of right now for soccer transfer talk, Premier League mostly. And next time we'll probably add some other ones to fulfill others that don't watch Premier League and who watch La Liga, Ligue 1, Italy, Bundesliga. So yeah, we'll get into that. So let's get to the NBA offseason. It started with a splash already.
Yep.
How do you want to do that, Mike? Do you want to take over for this one? Because I feel like you have some stuff to say.
I mean, well, the big splash was like Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns, and I'm like, yes, please, more.
I know Mike's like self-destruction.
And it's like, please add more. Like, add more. And now
hold my beer, because exactly. Let me hold your beer. Like, you could say it.
It's like rumors of Kyrie Irving meeting with the Phoenix Suns.
It's like in 2 days. This is June 30th. 30th, sorry.
Like, free agency's about to start. So
tomorrow.
Yeah. No,
is it June they said, or is it July 30th?
Well, free agency starts July 1st. So
because I felt like I saw that they were meeting in June, something 30th. Like,
I mean, does June only have 30 days? I haven't checked my calendar because they could start basically at midnight on June 30th. So
Kyrie's on his way already.
Please do, man. Please do. Let me see a team.
I mean, adding Kyrie, Mike. I don't know if that's self-destruction at this point.
Okay. Okay.
Man said he wants to win a ring, man.
That would be my hot take for the summer. Like, I mean, I'm curious to see like how would that work? It would be like a sign and trade situation where Dallas get DA. Maybe DeAndre Ayton goes to Dallas and they get
Kyrie Irving?
They get Kyrie Irving, because I don't understand how it works unless Kyrie Irving.
Because you did say like you wanted like a vet minimum.
Yeah, like I don't like, how does that work? Like,
I'm not sure.
How much max players can you have on a team, bro? Like what? Like even though DeAndre Ayton is not on a max contract, like I think his contract is only worth like $25 million per season or something like that. If you could double check that for me just to make sure.
DeAndre Ayton,
yeah. But
1 second, I got you.
It's like what? Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton. If they don't trade DeAndre Ayton, please do. I want to see this team in the playoffs. I don't care if this team wins 73 games and match Golden State's record. They're not beating anybody in the playoffs. They're not beating.
That's the hot take, right?
That's my hot take. They're not.
Yeah, he's on a $133 million for 4 years.
So that's what, 30. Like about
32. 32 million about a year. Yeah.
So that team lacks.
This year he made 30.
That team lacks physicality. That team lacks defense. And that team is injury prone. What y'all gonna do in the playoffs? What y'all gonna do? Like, like, come on, man. It's like, so
that's a huge name for Mike.
I'm like looking at the roster, and look, they're gonna have a whole preseason and camp together at this point if some of these players stay on the team. So other guys are gonna have to figure out roles.
Kevin Durant is already working out with Booker.
So, and the thing is that Chris Paul gone, and I saw some early lineups of just insert anybody with a heartbeat on the team that could handle the ball. Like Cameron Payne, they had Cameron Payne, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and DA. And I'm thinking, I kind of like Devin Booker playing at the one. We saw him play. We saw him play at the one in this playoffs when CP3 was out. I like that. So Booker, Bradley Beal in the backcourt, I got no problem with that. Kevin Durant playing at the 4 with DeAndre Ayton at the 5, I got no problem with that. I think they need a guy that they let go. I think they need a guy like Jay Crowder that could be a specialist, that could be a 3-and-D wing guy. I think they would need a player like, what's the guy's name on Miami? Highsmith. That was an undrafted player, a guy that's who can be physical, who can defend multiple positions. That has a wingspan of 6'5", 6'6" wingspan. That's probably around 6'7", 6'8". I think that's what they need. I don't think they need Kyrie Irving. They don't need a ringer in that team. So I don't understand the meeting, but I guess, if you could add all-stars, add all-stars, but have at it, brother. Have at it. I can't wait to see that team implode. Can't wait.
Let's see what Frank Vogel says about that.
Dude, I'm on my hater era for Kevin Durant.
I know.
For Kyrie Irving. And again,
I know.
Kevin Durant is a guy that I used to love to listen to talk about basketball, but with the stuff that he's done since leaving Golden State, man, it's bro, I cannot wait, dude. I can't wait.
So your hot take is that the Suns is not even passing the first round.
They'll pass the first round.
Okay.
They're not getting to no finals. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. The next one is the famous Marcus Smart trade. The first one originally broke down, but they found a way. So they're sending Kristaps Porzingis, and Marcus Smart is going to Memphis Grizzlies, and the Wizards are getting Mike Muscala and Danilo Gallinari. And am I missing someone?
Tyus Jones, right?
Tyus Jones. Yeah, Tyus Jones is going also. Yeah, from the Memphis. You are absolutely right. So, and I know you were stressing how you wanted that style of a player for the Celtics, and now they have it. Are they contenders?
They're still contenders.
It's too early to say.
No, they're still contenders, man. I think
even without Porzingis.
Yeah, I think the combination of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is that good throughout a regular season. What other teams are there in the Eastern Conference? Right now, we don't know the situation in Milwaukee because obviously Chris Middleton opted out of his contract, so we don't know what this team is coming back under a new coach, under a first-time head coach. Philadelphia, James Harden just opted in, so they're rumored to be doing some trades, so we have to see what happens with them. Miami
rumors that the Clippers and the Knicks are interested.
So Miami has to do something. So right now it's Boston and nobody else. So they still have their roster intact. They still have their coach returning. And you just add Porzingis. So I think, it's definitely them. I don't see another team beating them until we see what other teams do in the Eastern Conference. I was begging for that, man, because a team that has so much length and athleticism and that's so big, pause. I don't understand why. I don't understand why you just live and die by the 3, dude. You got to mix and match it, and I think Porzingis gives them that outlet and that dynamic. Yes, he loves shooting threes as well, but he can go down to the low block as well. He can post up. And he could give them an inside presence, unlike Al Horford did. So I really like this trade for Boston. I know Porzingis is injury prone, but I think there's going to be less workload for him. And I think this is going to really work out for the Boston Celtics.
All right, so the Wizards and the other end are getting some picks for the Suns. They're getting some picks like 2024 first round pick swap, 2024 second round pick, 2025 second round pick, and many more.
Pool party.
Who
Pool
and they get
party. Pool
and
party
they
in
get
DC, baby.
yo. I'm not sure if you saw the episode of It Is What It Is when Cameron was talking about the Pool and the Draymond situation. Is that Poole was talking some smack.
Mm-hmm.
That he was saying some stuffs about like because apparently they both went to Michigan State college, talking about how much girls they got and also Draymond Green not getting that contract and stuff like that. But hey, like Poole's gonna get his team. He's gonna be shooting his ASS out.
Yep.
He's gonna probably average higher points. He's probably going to improve his game as well. But the Wizards are in a total rebuild. But now they have Poole, they have Jones. Who else they probably have? But they got some picks, so it's a total rebuild. And the other end, they sent Chris Paul to Golden State. How does that work?
I don't know yet, man. I'm seriously confused by that. I think
they also have Landry Shamet in Wizards.
Okay.
I don't want to miss out any players.
Man, you gotta appreciate Richie, man. Richie's so nice. Just mentioning everybody, just being a true professional, man. While I'm just here, I don't care about
I don't care. Let's move to Chris Paul already.
I don't care about the other guys. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to rack our brains on how this is going to potentially work. So apparently there's this rumor that Chris Haynes put out there that Draymond has met with Damian Lillard in Portland.
Yeah. We know that big three.
We know that Draymond opted out of his contract. I wouldn't mind Draymond in Portland, man. I kind of like it, but like, if he does leave, like, that's another situation that Golden State has to figure out. But I don't see Chris Paul really moving the needle that much. I don't know if he's in the starting lineup or if he's coming off the bench to bolster the bench, like pick up that Jordan Poole role, like a more mature player, a Hall of Famer that actually that he's going to produce for you when it comes to the big time moments. But so it's kind of confusing right now to know what Golden State is actually going to do. We know Chris Middleton opted out of his contract as well. So there's some free agents out there, man. I know Kyle Kuzma opted out of his contract.
He's seeking around 36, something like that.
So, they could look at the free agency market if they don't re-sign Draymond. So we're gonna see what happens. We got to pay attention to it because I want my favorite player to actually be able to compete at the highest level in this last remaining years in the NBA, and Steph Curry. So we're gonna see what happens, man. But I'm here for the memes, Doug. I'm here for the memes.
What do you think? Because I know you were mentioning about the Harden situation. What's gonna happen in this one? Is it a sign and trade or?
I mean,
he opted out. He opted in, right?
Yeah, he opted into his deal.
Okay.
Was it an opt-in or opt-out?
I think he opted in. Let me verify.
Yeah, he opts in.
Yeah, opts in. Yeah.
76ers to explore.
But now they're saying Clippers is interested in the Knicks. Let's take the Clippers. Like, how does that work?
I mean,
if there's a trade that's been done.
James Harden.
Hey, Clippers just waived Gordon. Also,
I don't know if they did waive him, but I know I was checking out some clips earlier where they were talking about on Around the Horn, and he was on the highlights. So you're probably right. If you could get Paul George for Harden, man, book it. If the Clippers want to get rid of if they want to get Harden in and the conversation is not around Kawhi and they're like, all right, we're willing to keep Kawhi even though he's more injury prone than PG, and we're willing to let PG go. Pair Paul George with Embiid, man. I like that.
And they got Maxi.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Oh no, you can go.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you something. I wanted you to finish, so it's gonna be some like a question. I want to hear. So 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
What's a trade that you think that can happen that nobody is expecting? And also, that's one. And what's a trade also you want to see this offseason? 2 things, like a wow trade, like damn, I was not expecting that, or the second one is like a trade that you want to see. Caught you off guard there.
Yeah, that's a good question. The trade that would wow everybody is Damian Lillard to either Boston or Miami.
Is Miami a wow? Because they're always like speculating
Miami is a wow because they just don't have they don't have attractive assets. They just don't, man. Like, I mean, what do we like? Okay, Kyle Lowry expiring deal,
Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero,
and like really, it's like for Damian Lillard.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, so now you have Anthony Simons and Tyler Hero on the same team. Like, these dudes fucking bickering at each other for who's gonna shoot more. It's like, come on, man. It's like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think the Miami Heat assets are attractive for a Damian Lillard deal. So I think,
what if he goes to the Celtics? That's one. Like, who do you lose?
Celtics in that situation, I think you do Malcolm Brogdon, you do Grant Williams, you do Peyton Pritchard, you do whatever picks that you have, and you could probably try to add maybe a Robert or Al Horford in the deal, so that now that you have,
is that attractive?
I think it's better than the package that Miami, because, like, I mean, yeah, Kyle Lowry is going over there, like, if on an expiring deal, but you have Al Horford that's also an expiring deal, so that's better depth. Because you already have, and you already have Anthony Simons, who is like a beta version of what Damian Lillard is, a super beta version, but the kid is still good. So you could have him, like, he takes up the mantle, he takes up the role in the starting lineup. Peyton Pritchard or Malcolm Brogdon comes off the bench. I think that's way more attractive than what a Tyler Hero, who wants to be a starter, would get you. Like, we already see Malcolm Brogdon is willing to accept a 6-man role. He's a better veteran than what these guys are. So I think that is a better trade package, and I think they have better picks, because the Celtics, we all know, they've been fleecing people for years on picks. So they got like a million.
They got
picks.
them.
They got a million picks to get rid of. So I think that's a better trade package than what Miami Heat could offer. So that would be a trade that would wow me.
I would not expect it to Celtics.
Yeah, especially if you pick up the phone and they're like, "Yeah, nah, we're not giving you Jaylen Brown." Nah.
Yeah.
It's like,
no. It's not gonna happen, buddy.
So yeah, that. And what was the other one? A trade that I'm not expecting, or a trade?
No, a trade that you would want to see happen.
A trade that I want to see happen, I would want to see. Oh wow. I would want to see Paul George in a Bulls jersey.
Okay.
I want to see Paul George in a Bulls jersey, man. I need, bro. It's depressing being a Manchester United fan and a Chicago Bulls fan at the same time, man. It's like it's so tough. And Zach LaVine is just wasting good years in Chicago, not even being able to make the playoffs. The guy is like such a good basketball player, such a good scorer, but he doesn't have a good team around him that can maximize his potential. DeMar DeRozan is good, but that's just not really complimentary. We don't. Lonzo Ball, it seems
he's
that
out. He's out for the season again.
It seems
apparently
that,
from what the
yeah,
rumors.
it seems that his career is probably coming to an end. Sadly. And we have we don't have a really good bench. So Paul George would really help a lot of that, man. Paul George, Zach LaVine, Caruso, Patrick Williams, and Vucevic, and figure out a way to bolster the bench. Like, I think that's a really, really good team, man. I think that's a really good team. But
Paul George, Paul George. I want Paul George too. I want Paul George too, because
dude, if
he's that kind of player that we're missing in the Knicks. I need a
Paul George is. If Paul George is not injury prone, Paul George is nice, man.
No,
like, that guy was
he's the GOAT.
Former MVP.
Apparently, he's the GOAT.
According to some kids.
According to some kids.
The guy, was an MVP candidate at one point, when he was in OKC. The guy's a baller, bro. He's a baller. So I would love to see him, and he's finding success outside of the NBA right now too, with his podcast, like one of the
very good podcasts.
So I'm curious to see what happens with the Clippers. But Damian Lillard, man, I'm tired of him in Portland.
Well, they had a meeting, I believe, early this week or over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken, to discuss. It was after the lottery. What am I? The draft picks, yeah. So to see where the it is situated. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. If there's not a clear vision, I think he might ask out. But as of right now, it's Lillard in. As of right now, Lillard in Portland. But if there's no clear moves and no future and no clear progress, we might see him leave.
The rumor is that he was upset that they used a pick to draft a player. So. And they got Scoot Henderson, so that's another thing that I even failed to mention. It's like,
I forgot. Yes, 00.
So, I think at this point, if you can figure out a way to get a certain trade package that keeps you competitive in the West, and I think that's mainly what you want as Portland. I don't know what the owner's ambitions are. Like, if he wants to be a championship team or if he wants to be a good team that's always in contention for the playoffs. Like, I'm thinking it's like, yo, dude, you have Scoot Henderson.
I heard that. Sorry for cutting you off. I heard that there was a call. I don't know if that's true that they call for Paul George.
I mean, I would like that too, man. I would like that too. It's like, yo, dude, if you got
nope.
If you got Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, you have Grant Williams. Is it Grant Williams? What? Not Grant Williams. Whatever. What's the other guy?
What? Yeah,
the power forward.
Yeah,
I forget his name. And you have Nurk, and you could figure out how to structure a better squad around them, because. Jeremy Grant, that's what it is. I'm saying Grant Williams. Because the thing is that what you have to look at, when a team is well constituted, outside of having a bona fide superstar, yes, when it comes to the playoffs, they're not going to perform well. But I think over the last few years, outside of Golden State winning against Boston, where yes, it was an 8-man rotation, but I think we kind of see the best overall team wins. It's not about yes, you have to have your superstars, but you have to have a certain level of balance as well. Like you're looking at the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets has a squad, dude. Like they have role players that understand their role, and they have an unselfish mega superstar center in Nikola Jokic. And they have the two-man game of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray that could win them games on their own, just playing the two-man game. But they have these other guys that understand their roles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have Brown, you have Jeff Green, the vet, you have Aaron Gordon that's gonna do the dirty work.
You have
MPJ
Mr.
MPJ is
MPJ.
streaky. You know, he's streaky, but he understands his role even if he's not getting too many shots. Like he's gonna defend, he's gonna rebound. Boston, we thought was that they floundered, you know, versus Golden State, but you look at Milwaukee, you look at Toronto in the past, like, you know, those are they're balanced teams, and that's what will win you championships. You know, guys that understand their role. It's not all about like fielding a team of superstars. You got to have some balance, and that's what Brooklyn did. Brooklyn had a team that was balanced, and they're like, oh no,
we need more.
Let's trade everybody. Let's trade Jared Allen. Let's trade all our depth and get James Harden. Like and Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons afterwards. So it's just like that's why I'm looking at outside of Golden State that was able to do it because they had Klay Thompson, Draymond, and Steph, all special players in their role. And you have Kevon Looney as well that plays a special part in those championship runs for Golden State. Dude, like these other teams, like when they create these super teams, they don't work out well. Like even Miami, when Miami created the super team, like you had Shane Battier, you had Mario Chalmers that understood it, Mike Miller. Like you had these guys that understood. You had James
Henderson.
No. James Jones. Jones. Like you had these guys that understood their roles. So it's like you had Ray Allen playing a specific role.
It's funny we were talking about James Jones because I was talking to my coworker today. He was asking me who's the Suns GM. Mm-hmm. It is James Jones, right?
Yes, it is James Jones.
Yeah. He's like, what? It's like James Jones. Like,
so, you know, these super teams don't always come out good, man. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
no, you're right. Like some super teams, like you said, they were very well constructed. That each, like even like you said, like a Looney, or if they had like a Bogut or whatever they had, who they had in the past and stuff like that. Or over in Miami Heat, they had other role players that know their roles and understood it. And then you almost like Brooklyn Nets was a disaster. I think KD and Kyrie was enough around Spencer, Jared Allen, Harris, who stood there.
Yep.
I think they had good depth, but they lost everything, and then it was crazy.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, bro.
I think we almost forgot what one person, one trade. Collins was traded to the Jazz.
No, I thought about it too. Like I was about to mention it, but I was like, it's
not even.
It's the Jazz. The Jazz is still going to be good because they're Utah. So I'm happy for him. I don't know how it works necessarily because they still have Lauri Markkanen. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Like it's kind of weird. Like it's just a weird situation. So we'll see.
Who are they sending? Who did they send away?
I don't even remember.
It's one of those trades.
I don't even remember who they sent out. Probably like Eric Paschal or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's why we can't remember.
Oh,
because it's the same question that everyone been asking. Woody Gay is still in the league?
Oh,
and a future second round pick. You know what's crazy? Like Fabrice said that in the chat, is like and Sebastian also. And then today we were discussing that I was helping a branch out, and then we were talking about NBA. and we were talking about the Utah Jazz trade, and then everyone's like, you know what shocked me the other day? And I already knew what he was talking about. I'm like, Rudy Gay is still in the league, right? Huh? He's like, yeah. How did you know? I'm like, many people have been asking that. Like, yeah, that's why we didn't remember, Mike.
He been playing low key in Utah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
whenever he wants.
What do you think of Wemby in San Antonio?
I think it's gonna be good. Like the Spurs gets a franchise player. He's a guy that can do many things. Wing, shooting, get it to the paint. He can handle the ball too. It's just a complete tall guy. A complete tall guy. So I'm a little bit jealous because I guess those are the kind of franchise player we've been trying to get in the past decade. We can't get, but I think it's gonna be good for them, man. It's a destination team. Players are they're gonna want to go there because there's a franchise player. Like it's the start of a rebuild for the team, and they have 3 years of Popovich. He's gonna learn, and yeah, man. So it's good for them. Very good.
Curious to see what happens in New Orleans as well.
Yeah, man. They were talking about like Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram a lot during the draft picks and the third like possible trades. Nothing happened, but it's curious to see what's gonna happen.
Saturday, it's gonna be some shit, man.
Oh, Saturday's July 1st.
I think so. Let me check my calendar.
Yeah, I think so because the 3rd is on Monday.
Yep.
Second has you're right. Yep. So yeah, man, put your calendar on, Mike. So anything else you want to add before we end the show?
No, not that I could think of.
Let's go Haiti. We're playing against Mexico tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time for the Gold Cup. We won the first game 2-1 against Qatar. Goes by Nazon and Frenzy Piero.
I gotta hit up my Mexican friend.
It's the revenge game, Mike. Remember last Gold Cup we lost against them. There was a special penalty they never gave to us. We played a hell of a game, and we're calling in the revenge game. Hit up your Mexican fans, Mike.
Yep, bro, I'm doing it right now.
Tell them if they gotta drink the Coronas right now, do it right now because they won't be able to do it in game. Let's go Haiti. But yeah, besides that, we're gonna be on the lookout any new trades, soccer and basketball, and we come back for you for more funds, and we're gonna have new shows, more funds. We have new segments that we wanted to implement. We'll let you know. Any last words, Mike?
No, good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while, and we haven't lost any bit of chemistry, to be honest. So yeah, that was episode 62. Like, subscribe, and follow. And like you said, we have the Twitter handles in the description. Don't hesitate to reach us and conversate and make fun, everything. And also, yeah, it's available on Apple, Spotify, and like I said, sometimes on YouTube when it acts right. So yeah, episode 62. Peace.